we don't have that many people, but we can create such a heavenly atmosphere. That song really, as you can see, that song really moved me. And this is really what it's all about, you know. I mean, Mother really wants us to create what she calls a Hyojung culture. And she's focusing a lot on music, on songs. You know, there's just so many things going on right now. Recently, Mother made a new orchestra of 2nd and 3rd Gen in Korea, and they're performing their.
You want me to do the next slide?
So, let me get myself organized here first. I'm not used to. Yeah, I didn't expect to give a sermon this time. This is the only Sunday I'm free. Next Sunday I'm working in the flower shop. And so, you know, of course, my lovely son took advantage of his dear, loving mother. So he said, oh, we're going to show a video today, so you want to give a sermon? I said, well, yeah, but I can't get up there and just wing it. You know, I have to do something. So anyways, so Mother is really trying to create a culture of music. And even in Europe, recently they had a workshop for writing songs. And it was really nice, you know, the people that are really interested in that and do things alone, they came together, just about maybe 20 of them, but they came up like with 8 songs over a weekend. And it was, you know, very good for them, for their morale, and also to create something that's very beautiful. So anyways, thank you very much for that song. It really moved my heart, and this is what it's all about. We have to open our hearts, right? So, no, this is too hard. I don't know how to do this, because I have to move this and I have to move
Why don't you
that.
tell me and then I'll just put the next one.
Sorry, because I've got this and this, plus I want this.
Mike.
The mic.
Can we say thank you to our sister Marilyn Angelucci for giving us sermon? She just arrived, what was it?
Thursday night.
Thursday night. And, you know, anyways, maybe most of you know, but she's the General Secretary in the Middle East. So she has a huge position there. And I knew that having her here and having the open Sunday was a great opportunity to hear from her. So, you know, even if it's not perfect or polished, I think it's worth listening to what she's going to share with us. And anyways, I also actually, after you guys played, I wanted to also acknowledge the band too, because really our band is really awesome. I mean, I've been in some other communities much bigger than this, and the band is not as good as our band. So why don't we give a round of applause to the band? Thank you very much. Never good music. It's wonderful. So appreciate all of you for your work and time. And yeah, don't worry yet. You're
Just got emotional because of that song. Which is good, because that opened my heart, and that's what it's all about, right? Because I want to talk about the heart of Heavenly Parent. You know, recently, Mother, I just was able to read a speech, or see a speech yesterday that she wrote, that she spoke about the heart of Heavenly Parent, and actually what happened was that she was, no, that's the last slide. She was meeting with her grandchildren, and one of her grandchildren asked if she could ask a question. These are some of her grandchildren. And the granddaughter asked, what kind of being is Heavenly Parent? So of course, you know, Mother wanted to say, oh, God is a loving God. God, you know, gives us so much love, showers His love on us unconditionally. But she knows that actually that's not what we experience. She understands that we don't experience that God. And so what she said was, because of the fall, Heavenly Parent has not been able to share His love. She said, we haven't experienced true love from God. We experience fear and judgment. And she talked about the Old Testament and how God punished his people at Sodom and Gomorrah, destroyed the whole city. Over and over again, we see war and bloodshed initiated by the loving God because of the situation. And she said, and human beings have been incompetent and ignorant. I think that was very interesting. Not incomplete, but incompetent. She said she didn't know what to say to her young granddaughter. So she explained this situation, because this is the reality. You know, how frustrating is it for us when people say, oh, God is a loving God, he's loving us all the time, you know, he has so much patience and mercy and glory be to God, but we don't feel it. Do you feel God's love? Sometimes, right? Yes, right? This is a very, very good point. We feel it through our children, especially I think a father-daughter relationship, right? He can do no wrong in her eyes. She's, I don't know, Papa, Appa, Daddy, whoever he is, but this is where we experience God's love, right? So actually we'll get to that. But yeah, so true mother knows that we don't feel God ourselves. And she knows that we're distant from God. And that we are also very lonely. So, God has been suffering and lonely because of us. You know, we are the ones that separated from God. We're the ones that ruined the relationship. We're the ones that say to God, I don't care about you, I care about myself, and I'm going to go this way. Ignorant of what was to be, unable to have the kind of faith that we needed to have. So she explains God's situation and mentions how we are like God, actually. Because even though God, you know, God has a hard time loving us, his situation is that he's still feeling and wishing the best for us. He's still caring for us. He's still loving for us, just like us. How many of you have had any trouble with your children? Maybe your children didn't live up to your expectations sometimes, you know. Maybe they were late one night. You give them a curfew. Be home at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock comes around, especially if it's a daughter, right? 10 o'clock comes around and they didn't show up. How do you feel? Stephanie, how would you feel in this situation?
Terrified.
Terrified, exactly. Do you feel angry? Do you feel, you know, I'm going to kill her when she comes home? No. What do you feel? What happened? Why is she late? You never think, oh, she disobeyed me, and I told her 10 o'clock, and why she's not here? She broke the rule. No. As a parent, we're so worried. What happened? Where are they? Did she have a car accident? You know, did she get hurt? Where is she? And when she comes home, what is your first feeling? Relief. You feel happy. Oh, are you okay? Yes, Mommy, I'm fine. I'm sorry I'm late. Oh, don't worry about it. Just you're safe. Thank you very much. Maybe later you decide she needs something. But your initial natural feeling is you're so happy to see her safe and happy, right? This is how God feels about us. God doesn't worry about we broke the rule or we're not doing what we're supposed to do. He doesn't feel judgment and anger and resentment towards us. He continuously loves us. And we have that same kind of love inside of us. And especially our precious little children stimulate that in us. We are capable of that same kind of love. So God was suffering and lonely because of us. As his children, human beings ruined everything. But, well, I already did that one. Can you, oh, sorry.
Next one.
Then true parents came. Victoria's true parents came, and they were able to heal the heart of God. They were able to really help God to liberate his suffering, his loneliness, and then Heavenly Parent could be happy. Because there was someone who could understand his heart. So those of you that have children maybe under 15 years old, is it a frustrating experience? Sometimes. You're very idealistic. I'm not going to ask one, Jill. But Josh, is it frustrating sometimes?
Yes.
Because they don't understand us, right? How many times we asked Caleb to hurry up this morning to eat his pancakes, But he doesn't understand that we have to get to church on time. So he was eating his dinosaurs, one by one. And right, Caleb, today you had your pancakes? And you made them into dinosaurs, and then you ate the dinosaur, right? Yeah. Very slowly. But Lucas was, pooping many times. So they cannot understand. And even when they're 8, 9, 10 years old, still, it's very difficult for them to understand. But finally, Heavenly Father, Heavenly Parent, found our true parents who could understand his heart. For 6,000 years, he was lonely and suffering until true parents came. So how precious true parents are. How precious they are, not just to Heavenly Parent, because for us, they opened the gateway. For us, they could educate us and help us. So now, true mother, who understands the heart of God, is completely worried about 7.6 billion children in the world. She mentions it every speech. How are we going to reach out to all these people? How are we going to help them to understand? How are we going to educate them and at least give them the blessing, right? So how many can she save? She even said in this recent speech, just posted yesterday, I think, she said, I am so sorry. She is so sorry that she's not able to reach out to all the people in the world. And her biggest fear is that some of her children are not going to be able to be, saved, that's a hard word, right? Loved. Aren't going to experience love, aren't going to experience Heavenly Parents' love and a joyful life because she hasn't been able to reach them. She hasn't been able to actually motivate us enough that we can reach out to all the people of the world. She's worried. Will they continue to suffer? So you understand, she's not scolding us. She's not upset with us. She's always saying, I know you're working so hard and you're doing so much. But her heart is that we need to do more. She wants to do more. So mother's heart is unconditional. And it's completely connected to Heavenly Parent's heart. So we call her, next slide, we call her the only begotten daughter of God. So she brings up this point again. And she said when she called herself, this is her, what she's talking about. She said, when I called myself the only begotten daughter of God, a year ago or so, or whenever it was, she said, she was speaking to Koreans. She said, many of you doubted this. You doubted me. You couldn't understand. And then she even said, have you come to your senses? And honestly, there wasn't an overwhelming applause of affirmation at that point. So I think people are still struggling with this. They don't like this terminology, only begotten daughter. But the daughter of God, you have to understand this. What does this mean? The reason we have trouble with this is because we've used this for Jesus in the past. But what does the only begotten daughter of God means? It means that the one woman in the world that really understands her Father's heart. If you have a favorite daughter, why is she your favorite daughter? Why is she your only begotten, meaning the only or the first? Because she's the first one that could understand your heart. The first one that could relate to you. Realize how hard it is to be pastor. How hard it is to raise up the little ones. How much you make an effort every week to invest in the music. Yeah, I don't know enough about the rest of you, but how hard you're working to prepare the flower shop for Mother's Day, because this is the big chance to make money. A daughter understands your suffering and understands your heart and understands what you're worried about, what you're thinking about. And that is why Mother is the only begotten daughter of God. Can you understand? Do you want to be the only begotten son or daughter of God also? And it doesn't mean there's only one. Please try to understand it. It means it's like the most special one. Maybe I'm not theologically correct. Tyler can tell me later. But this is my concept, you know. Only begotten daughter means the first one, right now, unfortunately, the only one that can really understand God and what God's going through. So how precious this is for us. She has the same heart as her father does. So many of people say, well, yeah, that's good, but what is she really doing? What is she doing to demonstrate this kind of heart? Right? We have that question. We're practical Americans, right? Show me. What is it? Missouri is the show me state, right? They want to show me. Don't tell me your great plan and your idea. You show me. So I just tried to put together a few things that Mother's doing. First of all, she's caring and loving the world so much that she opened the gate of the blessing so that anyone and everyone can receive the blessing. So, Caroline, you remember when we received the blessing? How many years did you have to wait? Long time, right? 7-day fast, three spiritual children. You had to be on MFT for a certain time. You were separated from your husband. You know, we went through incredible difficulty. Also, previously married couples went through a very, very hard time because that wasn't really accepted in those days, right, Andrea? It was very, very hard. Now, previously married couples can simply say, I agree with these ideals, and I promise that I'm going to pass this on, and they can drink the holy wine. Now, that isn't the complete blessing, but as long as they take the education and follow the steps, they can receive the blessing. Isn't this God's love? Isn't this true Mother's love, that she would open that gate so wide that actually there's nothing stopping people, everyone in the world, to receive that blessing? So I think that's really showing a mother's love and her love for her Father who wants to save everyone in the world. She's also building a wonderful environment. I'm very, very sorry for people that aren't able to go to Korea, because Mother has really focused on the Hyeojung Chungwon and to create really a heavenly atmosphere. Has anyone been there recently, in the last year, let's say? No, 2 years? Isn't it? It's very peaceful. It's very loving. I'm just amazed. The whole spirit world is equalized. It's like you go into the coffee shop and you see all kinds of people talking to each other. You know, and especially, you know, I'm just like you. I struggle with certain kinds of leaders. And they, you know, you see these big guys talking to everybody. It's just amazing. I'm just so happy when I go there. It gives me so much hope. And she said, I'm trying to make beautiful buildings, a beautiful environment, in order for you to feel the kingdom of heaven on earth, where we can begin somewhere. And she's building it with her own sweat and blood. She's out there every single day talking about where to put the azalea bushes and these other bushes and which colors. They made a new plaza in Cheonggyeong recently around the Tree of Blessing, or the Tree of Love. It's really big now with lots of flowers in front of the prayer hall so that people can sit around and feel God's heart.
Two more centers too.
Two more, which?
One's in Germany and one's basically going to be in Senegal.
Oh, well, this is my next point.
Yeah.
Allow Chumbo events all over the world.
Also talking about the Cheonggyeong province part.
Yeah.
One
Well, we call it Jumbo now.
Okay.
So, yeah, in Europe, anyway, let me go through. And also she's taking care of the young people. I think there's a lot of things that maybe you miss, but she's giving scholarships to young people, millions and millions of dollars. In Jordan, we have a group of young people that she's supporting to go to university. Some other second gen also that are receiving scholarships. Europe, hundreds of people are receiving scholarship, and I'm sure in America too, but maybe just not in your community. But she's giving millions and millions of dollars for scholarships. She's having all kinds of educational training programs where she sends Sunjin in. She appears sometimes herself. There's so many programs, and every single time she goes anywhere, she meets the young people to really encourage them, to help them, to understand their identity, and to really raise them up. So, and she's also personally educating the Christian world. This to me is really amazing. She said that Christians don't understand the essence of Christianity. They don't understand the essence of Jesus, which Father has taught us. So now she's going around to 5 cities in America to educate. Did you read her speech?
Yes.
Right, in LA? And so she started to say, Christians have, how did she put it? Christians have the wrong viewpoint of washing themselves in the, Christians have a misconcept that salvation is from washing themselves in the blood of Jesus. And as soon as she said the blood of Jesus, the whole crowd started cheering.
Yeah.
Yay, yay! They didn't understand that she said this was wrong. So she diverted her speech because they weren't ready to receive it. But she did talk about many issues that are important. And she's trying so hard to educate these people and to find the people that can really understand. This, Joel, what is his name? Noel Jones.
Joel Osteen?
Noel Jones.
Yeah, Noel Jones.
Really amazing man. Really amazing man. From when he was very small, he belonged to the Pentecostal church, and he said that he felt, even though they said that they go out and love the world, he said that we were a church living for our building only. That we only live for the people inside our building. If you believe the same thing I believe, then I can love you. But if you don't believe that, my love does not go to you. Very prepared man. He's so excited to be involved with an international organization that has the same kind of concept. And this is why he loves Mother, because he knows Mother has taught us this. And so he's really an amazing person, and Mother is trying to help him and work through him. Actually, I don't know if you heard about this, but after the program, Damien had the inspiration that we should do a fundraiser. And he announced that the Hyojung concert that was going to be taking place, I don't know when that is, but the Hyojinim Memorial Concert would become a charity concert for the City of Refuge. So I think this was a very, very smart move, because if we don't substantially do something to help them, then who are we? We can't just preach. We can't just show them and clean up the garbage in their backyard, but we need to actually do something for them. So also Mother allowed what we call now the Chungo events all over the world. So recently in Europe, you've had them in Chicago and other places, I know, but in Europe, we had Germany, Albania, Spain, Italy. This weekend is in Russia, and then we'll have one in Poland, England, and then in Turkey in the Middle East. Can you imagine? In Turkey, with Erdogan as the president? This is only happening because of the incredible faith and vision of my husband, honestly. I'm sorry to testify to him, but everybody says you can't do it. Everybody said you can't do it. I even said, no, it's too dangerous. And finally we brought Impyo Moon to the place where we wanted to have it, and I kept saying to him, it's not good, right? There's too many windows and people. He says, no, this place is perfect. And what happened? It's Very interesting. We went to talk to the owner, who we know very well, and we explained to him what we wanted to do. And he said, listen, I know you and your people. We've done workshops there for the last 4 years. We brought our families there. We've had, families from all over the Middle East doing workshops. He said, I am very happy. He's giving us the whole hotel. We're going to occupy the whole place. We're going to occupy the whole bottom for our event. He said, you can do anything you want, and I will protect you. He said, I'm ex-military, and I know everybody in this city, and everybody knows me. And when I say they're okay, then you'll be fine. So please, don't worry about a thing. I don't know really what you're going to do, but I trust you because I know you. So for me, this was confirmation. This was like, okay, I believe it's going to be wonderful. So we're going to gather 220 people from all over the Middle East and do a 4-day workshop and then a 2-day Chumpyum event with, Chunyum and everything. So Mother has allowed this to happen. So we have a branch in Europe, and now that branch is
Does
traveling.
Chumpyo mean the ancestor liberation?
That's right.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, Mother G. I think it should have a G, I'm not sure.
All right.
But she said now we call it, I don't know. It means treasure, something, anyways, right? I forget. There's so many things, she's changing the names of things and stuff so that we can feel more our value and our purpose. She really she never once judges us. She never once gets up there and says, oh, you bunch of morons, why you're not doing more. It's been, 60 years and we still haven't restored the world. How much I have to give. She never says like that. She just keeps giving and trying to find the way to motivate us. Try to find the way to touch our hearts, So, this is just a few things, but this is some of the things that Mother's doing. So, we are very lucky people. Do you feel that?
Yes.
Right? We're very lucky people. We received everything freely. We received love, new life, and a new lineage. This is absolutely incredible. So we really have to be people that realize how lucky we are and how blessed we are. So are we still incompetent and ignorant? So I think half and half maybe, right? But we have the truth. We have the way. Father has been teaching us for 50 years how to live and what to do. And now Mother is trying in a different style. So if the hard military kind of strong father style didn't work, now we've got a soft mother who's trying to educate us the same thing, but with a different style. So, I don't think we're incompetent or ignorant, So, yeah, we're very, very lucky. I wanted to share a story. I don't like to share my stories so much, honestly. Joshua asked me to share this, but because anyway, I feel that there are so few brothers and sisters that can really experience true parents directly. And I don't share this because I'm proud of myself or because I feel that I'm better than anybody else. It's just that I want you to understand what Mother's really like. I want you to really feel her heart and how her life is, So anyways, Mother came to Vienna, and my husband and I were in charge of mobilization. We had about 40 young people working with us, and every day they're going out in the street selling tickets at first, and that didn't really work very well, so we had to change strategies, and it was quite a challenge. Nobody knows about true parents in Europe, and it wasn't the easiest. Here you have a lot of people that know true parents. You have churches and ambassadors for peace and many, many people that can mobilize others, but we don't have that in Europe. So we started from zero, but anyways, we had a successful event. Of course the numbers you say certain numbers, it wasn't really those numbers, but anyways, we all know that. And we had a victory celebration. And, you know, Mike Balcom is really great. He always has these very exciting events for us. So he brought us on the Danube. We went on this beautiful cruise boat, like 200 people, that went on the Danube. We had a gorgeous dinner. You know, we're down on the first floor inside the boat. We were served this really beautiful dinner. This was our victory celebration. It was also True Parents' wedding anniversary last year, the 1st of May. Or anyways, at that time it was, no, it wasn't 1st of May, it was the end of April. And Mother was with us. So she ate her lunch very fast, and then she went up on the deck, up on top. So everybody finished up their lunch and we went up on deck. And she was just sitting there, and it was very kind of cold and strange in the beginning. She's sitting underneath the awning, and everybody else is standing there. We had a band. And the band started to play the Viennese waltz. So it was really nice, and a few older members from Vienna got up and did the Viennese waltz. You know, and it was really cute and very nice, and Mother was smiling, and she was very happy. And then, after they played a few of those, then 3 other brothers got up, and they started singing old songs, you know, for us First Gen. And they were doing Beatles songs, so it's very moving for me that you sang a Beatles song today. And they were doing Beatles songs, but really upbeat Beatles songs. So one young girl, Kazuha, she's the head of the cultural department in Europe. She got up and she started dancing. And she pulled up, I think, Hun Suk Nim first, and then she pulled up Sun Jin Im, and she tried to get them to dance, but they were very, you know, they were very shy to dance. And, but I think Hun Suk Nim stayed up there, and then they started doing really, you know, kind of, jazzy songs, and we're all standing there like this, and I thought, what the heck? Let's dance, you know? So I got up there and I started doing the twist, twist and shout, do. And Mother is right there, literally. Here I am with my big backside, you know, like this, and dancing up a storm, and everybody starts to join us, you know? So I couldn't look to see if she was laughing or what she was doing, but I was very, you know, curious. So everybody started to dance, and everybody had a good time. So the next day, we went to the museum with Mother. But, you know, as you know, going to the museum with Mother doesn't mean standing next to Mother and talking about the pictures. It means you're among 50, 60 people that are trying to keep up with Mother as she runs fast through the museum, you know. But I had a chance to talk to Wanju. And I said, Wanju, yesterday was so much fun, huh? Oh, she said, you guys brought Mother so much joy. And I said, what do you mean? She said, oh, never before have I ever seen brothers and sisters spontaneously get up and dance like that. It was the first time that we really felt that we were a family in that sense. That everybody got up and they were dancing and having fun together as a family. Mother was so happy. She was so joyful. So I was really surprised, because I thought in Korea, other places, they do like this, but she said no. She said the Koreans will get up if Mother says, let's dance. But nobody moves unless Mother says, do it, you know. So then later, my husband came to me and he said, oh, you became very famous. And I said, what are you talking about? He said, in the breakfast meeting, Mother asked who was the first girl, Kazuha. She said, who was that pretty young girl in the white dress? And so they explained, I wasn't there, but so just Michael and some other people were there. They said, oh, that was Kazuha. She's the Hyojung Culture Department leader in Europe. And she said, oh, she's so nice. She said, I want to give her a gift. So she gave a gift for her. And then she asked, who was that big sister who was dancing with the blue dress? And they said, oh, that's Mr. Angelucci's wife. And he said, oh, she was really fun. I want to give her a gift too. Wow. So it was so really heart-moving. And I realized how lonely Mother is. You know, she doesn't have this experience. She doesn't live with her children freely, where her children make her laugh and make her feel happy. She's very lonely in that palace all alone. You know, she said in the beginning of this, she said, I had a chance to spend a day with my grandchildren. So that means how many days she doesn't spend with her grandchildren because she's so busy. So, you know, I feel as though we really have to understand, you know, True Mother and her situation. So, next. So, how much do we know God's heart? You know, Heavenly Parent loves us so much, but we don't feel it all the time. We feel it sometimes. We created this situation, and we continue in this way. You know, but true parents came and they showed us what to do. They know God's heart and are showing and teaching us. So what can we do? What can we do to get out of this stalemate that we're in, where we many times feel, oh, nobody loves me, nobody appreciates me. But in fact, people are telling you all the time how awesome you are. People are saying, but we forget that. And the first bad thing that happens, that plays over and over and over in our mind. You know? You let's say, after this sermon, you know, 5 people come up to me and say, oh, that was awesome. But one person comes up and says, oh, I didn't get your point. All day I'll be thinking about, oh, I made a mistake and I didn't do it right. This is our nature. And this is really a shame. We block the love that God is trying to give us. So how much are we making an effort to be like Heavenly Parent? This is really the issue. How much am I trying to control my mind, control my feelings, to really be like God? We have that seed inside of us as parents. We are capable of loving our own children unconditionally. But can we love our brothers and sisters unconditionally? Can we love, you know, the people in this room unconditionally? Can we have the patience that we really need to have in difficult situations? But this is where we have to make the effort. This is what really will create us into these kind of people. So, Heavenly Parent loves us, right? We all understand that. We can't feel it because of our own stuff. Stuff. What's stuff? Stuff is our concepts. Stuff is our self-centeredness. We used to say fallen nature, but I think that's really difficult to understand. You know, we say not having God's viewpoint. This is one of the most profound understandings in all of human history, that we do not have God's viewpoint. So we made the mistake. We can make an effort to have God's viewpoint. If I think about each and every single one of you, and I think, what does God think about that person? Tears come to my eyes. Because I realize how much you sacrificed, how much you suffered, how loyal you are to still be here and still invest and still give. This is God's viewpoint. This is how God sees us. But we need to make that change and that shift. So we can change that. We can get rid of our stuff and be full of love and gratitude. There's so many self-help groups out there telling us that this is possible. You know, I forget, I'm thinking it's the hour of gratitude. I don't know, there's many, many things out there where they're telling us that you can decide your life. So we have to understand that, you know. So this is exciting because we can decide which life we want to lead. A loveless life or a life full of love. We can decide that. And we can make that happen. We have the truth. We have an example. We have the model. People are showing us the way. It may not always be easy to understand true parents' theology or their methodology or to understand their terminology. I always struggle with that because I feel, you know, we're talking about this on the way to church, foundation of faith and substance. You know, what does that mean? You know, what does it mean? What is my foundation of faith and substance today? You know. So, what would you think be my foundation of faith and substance today? Mm-hmm.
Actually believing and practicing what you preach.
Okay,
Your
yeah.
substance would actually be getting someone else and convincing them that it's actually the right way to, which is never easy to change someone's mind.
Right. But I was thinking more like me today. You know, what would you think that, how did I make a foundation of faith today?
You
Yeah.
knew you were going to speak to us, and you sincerely tried to think, what can I share with them?
Right.
That's your faith and your trust
Right,
and your substances you've got up, and you're sharing and giving.
right.
And through that, God comes and is with us.
That's right. So it's very, very simple. It's just the fact that I accepted God's word to give the sermon, and I prayed about it. I invested, I made internal preparation to do it, and got my mind set and my heart set. And then I came here and actually made effort. Many people will come here, oh, okay, I have to give sermons, so right? So we don't feel anything. But I need to reach out, and I need to invest and try to overcome my fallen nature, which is my pride and my fear, and try to touch you and change your mind, right? So it's very, very simple, actually. But it's not easily understood from that terminology, foundation of faith and substance. And we really have to teach people and explain to people. So, do you want to have a loveless life?
No.
No? Anybody? Anybody want a loveless life?
No.
Do you want a life full of love and gratitude?
Yes.
Yes, we do. So, let's do our filial duty before Heavenly Parent and resemble Him. We have the ability to resemble God. And it even says it in the Bible. You must be as your Heavenly Parent, right? Yeah, and Mother and Father are teaching that all the time. We make the first, second, third blessing so that we can be like God, resemble God. Do you believe that?
Yes.
So only John believes that. How about the rest of you?
Yes.
Bob, do you think you can be like God?
Yeah.
I think so too. You are like God.
Yeah, it is already.
This is so amazing. The fact, why could He touch my heart so much this morning? Because of His purity, because of the goodness, because of the beauty in that song. Their harmony was just gorgeous. Their unity was so moving. This is God. You know, coming here and being together and taking care of each other, this is God. But you see, we don't have enough confidence that other people are going to feel that. So we still hesitate to bring people, right? I'm the same, I worry. Oh, if this person's there, then maybe they'll say this, or because I don't love everyone equally, and I don't understand everybody equally. But we need to really become those people that create that kind of atmosphere that can really bring others and allow others to understand our true parents. So first of all, we have to internalize everything. We have to really be able to internalize, what is Mother doing? How is she resembling God? How are we creating the kingdom of heaven on earth? And then we can be excited. And then we can go out, we can say to people, this is happening. You don't know how amazing, Hak Jahan Moon is and what she's doing and what Sun Myung Moon has done. Please let me tell you about it. We need to be excited because we've been touched ourselves. So this is what it would be if we were really filial children to Heavenly Parent. This is how we would be. Filial children are excited and proud of their parents and want to tell the world how great their parents are. So these are the people that we are to a certain extent, but we need to really develop that more and more and really create the kind of atmosphere where we can love all people and really embrace all people. Okay, please join me in prayer. Precious Heavenly Parents, our true parents of heaven, earth, and all humankind. We're so very grateful. Precious Heavenly Parents, those words seem so shallow compared to the incredible gift that's been given to us. To just say we're grateful is not enough. To have a good feeling or a good heart is not enough. I really need to show you, I really need to do something. Precious Heavenly Parents, as an elder member, I have a huge responsibility to really help to solve the problems of the world and to take action in whatever field you're guiding me in. Precious Heavenly Parents, we really are so grateful that we have our true mother every day, every week. She's speaking to us and teaching us and showing us. So help us to really connect to her heart, and through that really connect to the heart of our Heavenly Parent, to you. And we can feel your love and feel all that you've done for us. And we can live a life full of love and gratitude. Precious Heavenly Parents, I thank you so much for my brothers and sisters here. I really pray that you can protect them and guide them in their everyday life, and that they can really feel you and really feel how lucky you really are. We thank you. And I report all this in the name of the Angelucci Central Blessed Family.